Okay, thanks for joining everybody. So today I'll be telling you about self-love and how it is different from what you learned since childhood, like, the pre-programming of what self-love might do to you. Okay, sorry. So the previous third dimension thoughts have been in such a way that self-love is actually considered selfish. Okay, so taking time for yourself, doing things for yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, they are all considered to be selfish. You're supposed to live for others. You're supposed to sacrifice yourself. You're not supposed to say no. I'm not talking only about women or men. I'm talking about everybody in general. I'm talking about the generation till this generation. I'm like, children who are born after, what do you say, after 2000, like, the millennials, after the millennials, I would say after 2005, 2006, children who are born are, like I was saying, they're wired differently. They have come from a plane of unconditional love. So they are more accepting. They are more, what do you say, they have lesser controlling behavior, and their way of looking at the world is totally different from us. When I say us, I'm talking my generation, my previous generation, the previous generation. We have certain imprints. We have certain clauses which we have to follow. You have to behave this way. You have to honor your relationships this way. You have to do this. So very flexible, inflexible conditions we had when we were growing up. So what these preconditionings do is, see, I'm not saying they're right or wrong. What I'm saying is they're just conditionings. So when they are conditionings, we can change. Because what happens is, as time flows, you should learn to change along with time, because inflexibility can prove to be a blockage for a number of things. If you are not ready to change, your relationships will suffer. Your relationship with people and people's relationship with you, basically your relationship with the external world and vice versa, is going to suffer if you show inflexibility. And when I say inflexibility, it is not bending over backwards to do things for everybody, people pleasing, not being able to say no, not having boundaries. No, these are not what I'm considering as a part of self-love, as a part of your spiritual inner growth, wherein you you should not reach to a stage where you hate yourself for behaving in a certain way with certain people. You should accept, I mean, you should accept that, every person has a facet which we show to the world, and then we have a shadow self which we hide deep inside. A shadow self always balances what you show to the world. If you are being overtly nice, like extremely nice to people and all, there is a shadow self behind wherein it is evil. Okay, because everybody has a balance of good and evil inside it. It has to. It is, that's how universe works. So your shadow self and you should merge and come to a stage where you accept the shadow self accepts you. And when does this happen? When both of you understand each other. So first step to this is acceptance that you have a shadow self, acceptance that you also feel jealousy, you also feel envy, you also feel anger, you also feel regret, you also feel like, these are all the negative emotions which we hide from the external world. We all hide it, all of us. I'm telling you, everybody has it. There is no extreme good, because if there's an extreme good, the body collapses. It cannot survive without the balance of good and evil. It cannot survive without the balance of the The thought of being nice and the thought of doing harm to somebody. So if you are uh, let me give you a small example. You might want to curse somebody, but you're mad at them. Okay, not cursing as in cursing. I mean, you want to yell at somebody, but what do? You just give a smile and move away from there. Many of us have done it. Almost all of us have done it, wherein you don't want confrontation. So what we just do is just give a smile and move away. Otherwise, we just go away from there. But when we do that, what happens is our shadow self, that anger lies in there. The anger will not come out until you recognize that there is anger against that person. If I cannot speak out, I have to forgive and let go. It is very important to release things from the shadow self, because shadow self is also the place where we, stuff things. Whatever we don't want to show to the external world, whatever we don't want the, we feel is bad, we hide it in the shadow self. Okay, so it is important to know what your shadow self is thinking, what your shadow self wants to do, and what your shadow self thinks that you should have done. Okay, in any situation, if you feel anger and you're able to show your anger, if you're able to shout at the person and move away, then it is finished. But if you don't do it, the grudge might stay inside your shadow self. So accept it. First thing to self-love is accepting all your emotions. You have to accept that you're angry, you're hurt, you are in pain, you don't want to do something, you want to say no, you have boundaries, you're not comfortable, all these things you should learn to accept. First, accept in yourself that, okay, this is how I feel. This is how deep inside me I am considering this particular situation. So when you consider it that way, what happens is you are coming in balance with your shadow self. When you are coming in balance with your shadow self, there are certain things over there. Like, see, now you're learning this. So it is possible that in the past you didn't know it. So we stored a lot of things. Even me, in my childhood, I stored a lot of things in my shadow self. The facade I used to show to the world is not what I was inside. Inside was a different Nilima. It was a totally different person. It's almost like a, you if you when you come in touch with your shadow self, you will almost feel like you have a split personality. That's how different it will be. So you have to merge them both, you have to make them one. Okay, so let me share one. Okay, can you all see this? So when
Yes.
it comes to self-love, these are all the things, these are the basic foundations you have to do. Okay. Basic, very, very basic foundations which we have to do. The first one is self-acceptance. The reason I'm not telling you mental health is first is that comes at the end, all the way to the end, because that is how frustrated you get and your mental health gets affected. The first one is the self acceptance. Okay, so like I said, accept that you are what you are. If the world accepts you, it's okay. If it doesn't accept you, it's okay. Don't give the external world so much importance that you are changing yourself for the external world. You're dressing up in order to blend into a crowd. You're talking in a certain way in order to portray that you're well educated. You feel that you have to fit into that particular society, so you talk in a certain way. And the things you buy for your house, you do it for your neighbors or for your family, rather than your own comfort, you do it for them. And whatever, at workplace you want to portray that I'm living a very comfortable life, or whatever. It could be anything. It could be literally anything. So when you accept yourself, what happens is you will live for yourself. That is when your comfort level with yourself will increase. You're happy in your company. You're not looking for acceptance outside in the external world. You're happy with yourself. You're happy doing things what makes you happy. You can watch a movie, you can read a book, you can, do whatever you want. You can cook, you can play golf, whatever it is that makes you happy, you can do it because you're doing it for yourself. Okay. The second one is the boundaries. It is very, very, very important to create boundaries, guys. I know this is something which has not been taught at all. Like, people tell you that, bend over backward to please people, but boundaries are so important. You have to tell them. If somebody is teasing you, you say that I'm not comfortable with this kind of talk. If somebody is bullying you, you say that why are you bullying? This is rude. If somebody is being rude to you, yes, you tell them in the face, okay, that's rude. I don't like it. If someone is complaining about somebody else, say that I'm not interested in this kind of talk. I don't like gossip. If someone says that, like, if a third party person comes and says that, um, what do you say? See, that person told you something, told me something about you. Is it true? Say that maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that person knows me better than I know myself. Right? So when you create boundaries, you can do it without being rude. You don't need to be rude to create boundaries. That's what we were taught. We were taught that if you create boundaries, if you stop others from talking, if you stop, if you put out your opinion when somebody is saying something, it is considered rude and it's mannerless. No, it is not. Because boundaries are what will make your mental state healthier. They will tell you that the body can accept only so much negative energy. So if you are sensitive and somebody is talking something about, let's say, bullying, okay, and your body cannot take it, what happens is, at that place you listen, you will nod your head, accept with them and come back. But after you come home, it is going to eat at you. It is going to say that, this is not something you should have accepted. This is not something that you like. You don't like bullying. Then why did you accept it? Right? There was a time when one of my friends had told me that if there are 10 people and some controversy happens, 9 people will not support you. Almost always this happens. 9 people will not support you. They will support the controversy. There could be, if you are super lucky and you have very good friends, then you could have that one single person who takes your side. But you know what? Stick to it. Still stick to it. If you think you're right, you're right. That's what I tell my son also. If you're right, you're right. Stick to it. Be honest to yourself and stick to what you think is your boundary. If you think it's wrong, it's wrong. That's it. You don't have to, kowtow to somebody saying that, acha, theek hai. Yeah, for now we'll go with it. You don't have to. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Let them know. See, most important thing in self-love is an open communication with the external world. If you don't like something, you have to tell them. If you like something, you have to tell them. And most importantly, you cannot expect the other person to understand what is in your head. You have to use words. You have to talk to them directly and tell them, I don't want this. I don't like this. I don't have this. Okay. You have to learn to say no. Okay. So one of these boundaries is saying no. You have to learn to say no. You don't want to do something, say no. Okay. It took me a long time to learn this. I'm not telling you it's easy because we are not taught to say no. You don't want to do something. Okay, I can say that, certain situations might not call for it. Like in the office, your boss tells you to do something, you can't say no. right? But you can try to explain if you are uncomfortable doing it, not because you don't want to do it or you're feeling lazy, but because you're uncomfortable doing that particular thing. Let me give an example. So this lady recently contacted me saying that I have a work from home job for you. Then very random, it just came in the WhatsApp messages. I am not even sure how she got my number. She said this. Then I asked her, what is it that you do? And she said, it's a very interesting job. You have to go into YouTube links and click on like. Now, it is actually a very easy job. I can easily earn money through that. But you know what? It's not ethical. So ethics, moral values should always be at your top of your priority list. Whatever I'm doing, is this ethical? Whatever I'm doing, is it going against my moral values? The third thing is, am I hurting that person? Like I said, you don't need to be rude to set boundaries. You don't need to be rude to say no. You just say no because you don't want to. I remember there was this incident when my parents had visited, and my husband had asked for coffee. And I was actually about to leave and go for a session. Something I had, some other work I had. So I told him, no, I can't make it right now. Later, I had to listen to half an hour lecture from my mom as to why I should not say no. I listened to the half an hour lecture and I told her that, see, anyhow, he made coffee and drank it. So it's okay to say no. Sometimes it's okay. It's not like you're hurting, it is just that both of us have our priorities, and that particular time I could not make it, right? There were times when I asked him for something and he could not make it. It's just open communication, right? Just be open when you say no. That's it. Okay, the third one is the self-care. Now, what is self-care? People think that, pampering yourself, um, or getting dressed up very well, going out with friends, or spending time with family is self-care. No, no. Self-care means one person. You take care of yourself. You eat well. You exercise for yourself. You are the one who has to spend time with yourself. You watch a movie which makes you happy. If you think you have releases, blockages which are not coming out, you're unable to cry, watch a movie which will make you cry. Read a book. Go out by yourself. Just go grab a cup of coffee. Go to a restaurant by yourself. Go to a movie by yourself. And let me tell you, I do all this. Everything I do by myself because, I love myself. I love my company. Your self-care should always be at a stage where you love your own company a lot. You can just sit by yourself and do things your body wants you to do. You either sleep, like I said, you can, if you like the gym, go to the gym. If you like running, cycling, cooking, whatever you want. If you like to, if your body says that, chalo, let's sit, do one course, learn something new, then sit and do it. But do it for yourself, not for the certificate, not for the appreciation people will give you because you're doing this, but do this for yourself, your own self. So self-care is pampering at a singular level. Okay. But take a nice bath, um, go out for a walk, sit under a tree, read a book, whatever makes you happy, right? Whatever makes you happy. See that this again does not mean that you go out all by yourself and start drinking, right? You cannot abuse your body. You have to do something which will release the happiness inside you and make you enjoy your own company. Okay, the next one is the inner voice. It is very, very important to listen to our inner voice. I I mean, probably this I have to tell again because this I usually mention in my women sessions. So your first inner voice comes from your gut, from your stomach. It does not come from your mind. That's what we think, but it comes from your stomach. See, when you go to a place you don't know, the fear will come. Where does the fear come? In your stomach. When you see something happy, you feel butterflies. Where? In your stomach. When you feel anger, you cannot eat because your stomach cannot digest it. And if you are feeling hurt or in pain, you will have, like, stomach upset. Or if you have fear, fear tends to upset your stomach. So your inner voice usually comes from your gut. It comes from your stomach. So when it comes from there, accept it. It tells you not to do something, please don't do it. Okay, don't do it. And talk, sorry, talk to your stomach, talk to your inner voice. When the inner voice tells you don't do this or let's do this, what you have to do is accept it and ask it the reason. If you are a logical kind of person, you can ask it the reason as to why not, you know. Sorry, just give me a second. When your mind tends to overthink about certain things, when it is overthinking, tell it to stop. Talk to yourself. Tell it enough, enough. Let's shift the topic. It's okay. We can come back to it some other day. Let's shift the topic. We'll talk about something else. Talk to yourself in your head. Connect with your body, connect with your subconscious level, conscious level, and uh, talk to it. It Trust me, it does not make you crazy. It only makes you smarter when you are like that. Okay. Then self-discovery. Say self-discovery is about not staying in one particular cubby hole. If somebody has put you in a square hole, don't think that you have to be square only. So if someone says that you're not very academic, you're not a very quick learner, then it's okay. It's their perception. You do what you have to do. Don't feel that because somebody said that you are not a quick learner, you should not learn something new. If someone says that you have studied enough because you have studied till PG, okay, then there is, see, knowledge is vast. It's simply vast. You don't need to study in the same field. You can study in a different field. You can learn so many new things, so many new things. I mean, like they say, the world is your oyster if you are really ready to learn. So pick up things which are new, which are completely different. Okay. Like if you are a person who likes cooking, then, go into baking. If you're a person who likes outdoorsy stuff, like, jogging, running, cycling, fitness, all this, then do something academic. Learn, because this is how you exercise both your mind and your body. So your body, anyhow, you're exercising it. So you learn to exercise the mind. If you are nerdy like me, then, uh, you just want to sit and learn something, absolutely no exercise, then push your body to do something so that physically also it is fit. But rediscover what you like, from your childhood. Did you like drawing? Did you like painting? Did you like sketching? Do you like origami, or knitting, croquet? See, there are many, 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 many things, right? There are many things which we might feel that, acha, okay, it was a thing of past. No, it is not. It's really not. I still enjoy reading comics, right? So, rediscover your inner child so that you can keep going back and connecting with that inner child, the happy inner child. See, inner children are formed through traumas and through happiness also. Anything extreme will create an inner child. If there was a time when you went to the beach for the first time, that happiness will create an inner child. Even after 30, 40, 50 years, you will remember it, saying that you remember we went to that place. We really enjoyed it over there. It might not be as good as it was in your head, but you know, you really enjoyed at that place. So when you keep going to the past and bringing that happy inner child with you, you're slowly merging your soul, whatever is left at the in the past. Okay. Now finally, it is a mental health. See, all these things, when we are separated from our shadow self, the conscious and the subconscious mind do not blend properly. They don't know what is going on. So subconscious mind is actually very lazy. Okay. What it does is, whatever conscious mind does, it does not argue. It'll just say, Acha, okay, theek hai. Whatever you want to go with it. Suppose the subconscious mind says that, let's meditate, let's keep ourselves calm, let's meditate. And the conscious mind will tell you, no, you have 100 different things to do today. How can you even think of meditating? Right? That is when the subconscious mind will say, acha, theek hai, then we'll do it tomorrow. That is where the word tomorrow comes from. It will never happen. It's like writing on the wall, tomorrow. It will never happen. So we have to push ourselves to do it. When this happens, our mental health will be perfect, I would say, close to perfect at least, right? We learn how to talk to people. We learn how to escape situations. Escape might not be a right word. I would say we learn how to handle situations which used to put us into panic previously. And we learn how to handle people better, because we will understand them at a different level, not what they are portraying, but you will be able to understand what they mean behind their sentences, what they want to tell you, exactly what they want to tell you, without any misunderstanding. Because what we do is, when we are doing the self-love thing, if you don't understand something, you will immediately say, I don't understand. You will not keep it inside your head and then think about it the next 3 days. You will just say that I don't understand. Can you repeat it? Or can you explain it for me? Right? So when we are being open like that, what happens? Your overthinking stops. And when your overthinking stops, your mental health gets much better. Right? So, okay, with these foundations, okay. See, these are the five points, 6 points, which are very important when you're doing self-love. Okay. First thing is, don't look for acceptance in the external world. You will not get it 100% ever. If there are 10 people, 5 people will like what you said, 5 people will not like it. Or if you do something new, 5 people will appreciate you, 5 people will feel the grudge, right? I mean, not exactly 50-50%, but I'm giving you a classic example that the world you see always consists of the positive and the negative, right? So the positive will look into the positive which you have done, the negative will only look into the negative which you have done. The situation is the same, whatever you have done is the same, their perception changes, how they understand it changes. And when that changes, what happens? They will not understand what you have done according to your perception. You did it as a good thing. Let's say, um, simple example, let's say you have given 10,000 rupees to charity. Okay. And you mentioned it to a few people. Okay. There will be people who will appreciate you for it. There will be people who will say that, why do you have too much money to give away? Then give it to me. I'm sure all of you have come across people like that. And then there are people who will not say anything, but inside they will think that, he's just showing off or she's just showing off, right? The thing you have done does not change. You have given charity. That's it. You could afford it. You have given charity. Whatever is in your head does not really matter because you felt like giving it, you gave it. Very simple. But how the world perceives it matters. Right? So don't give so much importance to what the world will say. So much importance to, how the world will take it, how the world will interpret your action, your thought, your idea. So don't do it for the world. Do it only for yourself, right? Purely for yourself. There was this one course which I had done in baking in 2020 during the lockdown time. Okay, so because it was lockdown time, it was a 1 month course. We used to bake every day in the house. And after the lockdown was lifted up, they said that for the certificate, see, by right, they should have given the certificate to everybody because all of us did it. But they said that, you will be having an assessment. And during the assessment, if you do what we ask you to do, then you will be getting your certificate. And the assessment basically consisted of, us buying some stuff for display and all that, some sponsor stuff and all that. And also it included cakes, which I was not comfortable with. Okay, they wanted an Indian based cake, which I'm not comfortable with. Now, I thought about it. I asked my husband, do you really think the certificate is important? Then he asked me, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think certificate is important or what you have learned is important? That's it. I dropped the certificate because that is really not important for me. It's not like I'm going to join as a chef. I learned it because I wanted to cook whatever I felt was healthy for my family, right? So you drop the certificate. But there were many people who asked me, did you get the certificate? Why did you leave the certificate? You should have taken the certificate. Certificate really does not matter to me. Yes, in some issues, it matters. You can't say that I don't want my 10th standard certificate or your birth certificate, right? Or your marriage certificate. It does not work that way. But try to understand whatever you're doing, are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for the world? Are you doing it to show the people that you have done this much? So learn that. Learn that slowly. As you talk to yourself, you will understand that whatever you're doing is for yourself only, right? The second one is be gentle with yourself. Whatever decisions your body, your mind has taken at one particular point of time, which you might regret now, you have to understand that it was the best decision it could take at that point of time. It was the best option. It had no other choice. Okay, so be gentle with your inner child, be gentle with yourself. If you get a thought to kill a person because they're being very mean to you or mean to somebody, just say that it's okay. you know all of you must be familiar with All Is Well, right? You have to understand that it's an extremely important point in that particular movie, which is your heart only knows what you tell it. If you tell it to be scared, it will be scared. If you tell it to that all is well, all will be well. The whatever you feed it, your heart accepts it. Whatever you feed it. And if you feed it happiness towards yourself and compassion towards yourself, being gentle with your thoughts, with your actions, with your behavior, with the way you grew up, I'm sure not all of us had happy childhood. All of us go through something or the other. And if we don't go through, then the subconscious mind will create some situation, logical mind will create some situation wherein you feel that, Acha, I was abused as a child. Even if you are, even if you grew up in a very loving atmosphere, environment with everybody showering their love on you, You tend to think that, no, my childhood wasn't perfect. Because perfection is something the mind does not understand. Because, the world is relative and perfection is a superlative degree. Superlative degree, the mind will not understand that easily, right? So be gentle, you know. If you think you have gone through trauma during childhood, talk to it. Before you sleep, call upon that inner child, talk to it and say that it's okay. I'm sorry, I was not there for you, but I'm sure you took the right decision. At that time, you took the right decision. So don't regret. Don't ever feel that, "Arey, I couldn't study as much as that guy. I couldn't earn as much as that guy. I could not go into a good job like that guy did." Don't compare yourself and be gentle with yourself. Okay. The third one is accept what you cannot change. See, our life, when the soul takes birth, before the soul takes birth, it thinks about what experiences it wants to learn in this lifetime. Based on that, your um, living conditions will appear. Okay, you'll be born into that particular family. You'll be born into that particular environment wherein you want to undergo that particular kind of experience. Yes, it can be even abuse. Abuse also, the soul wants to experience it. The soul wants to learn a lesson from that particular experience. Right? If it's a verbal abuse, you learn not to abuse. If it's a physical abuse, you learn not to hit people because it hurts, right? So if this kind of things the soul wants to learn. So when that happens, your destiny, whatever you're going through right now, okay, let's say you're not being treated well, or you don't have anybody for support, or your finances are tight, all these things whatever are happening are again a lesson. If you think you can change it, then change it, right? Because your destiny is in your hands. Use the free will and change the destiny. But there are certain things that we cannot change, right? Like, losing a spouse. If you lose a spouse who has been with you for, say, 40 years, 50 years, you can't change it, right? So you accept what you cannot change and you move forward. If it is something like, what do you say? If you think you're not beautiful enough, or if you think you're obese, if you can work towards it, work towards it. If you cannot work towards it, then accept it. Okay, accept it for what it is. Anything which is in your hands, do it. Anything which you think is not in your hands, accept it and move on. That's it, let it go. Okay, then say no without hesitation. This was what I was telling you. Learn to say no. You don't want to attend a session, say no. Be very clear about it. You don't want to go somewhere, say no. You don't want to eat something, say no. Okay. So I would say that, it's actually not very easy to say no, because like I said, we are brought up that way. Our conditioning is like that. But learn now. It's okay. It's never too late. You're still alive, right? So learn to say no now. Okay. Then put your phone down. Yes, please stay away from technology as much as you can. It's not important to hang it around your neck the whole day. Nothing will happen if you keep the phone in a different room and go to sleep. The world will not crash around your ears. Nothing, absolutely nothing will happen. If you don't check your WhatsApp like 17 times a day, it's okay. Because 90% of the stuff in there is useless. Right? So it's okay. If you don't answer a call within the first 3 rings, it's okay. If you can always call back that person and say that, I'm sorry, I missed your call. Be open about it. Be open. Like today, I had a session and I forgot and I went off to sleep in the evening. So I immediately sent her a message that, I'm sorry. I couldn't, I slept off. So it's okay. See how the other person takes it is that, okay, this person is being honest with me. If you lie and try to make up stories, then the trust the person has in you will slowly erode. It will slowly reduce. So you want to say no, just say no. Okay. Then know yourself. Know yourself is a very vast subject, because like I said, knowing yourself is not just knowing that, okay, I'm really, the external things, I'm a healer, I like doing this, I like cooking, I like reading. No. Knowing yourself is about knowing about your shadow self. Know what you don't like, what scares you, what puts you into panic, what hurts you, what makes you super happy, what will give you that, just that bliss, I would say. That happiness inside you, what is it that will give you that happiness, that inner happiness? So knowing yourself takes a bit of time, because acceptance is important, right? You have to accept that you're angry inside, you have to accept that you're jealous inside, you're envious inside. So all these things, one, you have to take it out. And when you take it out, that is when you learn to accept that part of yourself and make it a part of you. Like, you both should go together. You and your shadow self, you should go together. You should travel together. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, after this session, I'm going to put up, 1 second. Okay. This one, 21 days self-love challenge, I'm going to put up. Out of these, every day, I want you to do one, only one. You don't need to do all of them. But for 21 days, do one of it. Like today, if you are starting from tomorrow, say that the first one, like cancel something you were doing out of obligation. If you had to go somewhere that you didn't want to go to, if you have to visit somebody, if you want to do something for someone out of obligation that you didn't want to do, cancel it. Okay. Second one is treat yourself to your favorite meal. Don't always do it for the family. Make something which makes you happy also. It's okay. They will also enjoy it. Okay. Revisit a childhood hobby. Like I said, it could be anything: drawing, painting, sketching, running, cycling, anything, whatever you used to love as a child. Pick one hobby, anyone, just try to remember what you used to like. Okay. Of course, not screaming tantrums, not stuff like that, but some hobby which you used to enjoy as a child, and do that. Okay. So like that, I have put up 21 self-love challenge stuff, which I wanted to do first 21 days if possible. Okay, it's no obligation, but what happens is, as you do this, you start accepting yourself, you start enjoying your company, you start falling in love with yourself. And trust me, when you fall in love with yourself, you will see love everywhere in the external world, everywhere, because this world is a reflection of your soul, of your inner thoughts, your subconscious mind. And if your subconscious mind is happy, it will see happiness all the time, right? So any questions on this?
See, we have been taught from childhood that not to say no anybody,
Yes,
not to hurt anybody.
yes.
So this comes in the way of, what you said. Say you do whatever you like. So we are from childhood only. We are living for others.
Yes,
Actually, in life we are living for others. What they want to do, we do.
we do. Yes.
Not actually we want to do. As So, yeah, so we don't want to hurt others
We don't
mainly.
want to. Like, actually, I think previous generation did not know that saying no will not hurt others. You can be nice when you're saying no. You can be rude, but you can be nice also. You can just say that I'm not comfortable doing it. I'm sorry. I don't want to come out today. Like it.
Yeah. No, that is, no, there are few things where we cannot say no. I mean, I
No,
mean,
sir. I have observed that there is every situation you can say no.
I say, okay,
Like,
we will try
we
from.
think it's an obligation. We think it's an obligation. So when we think as an obligation, yes, certain things we have to do. Like you said, certain things we have to do. We can't become totally selfish and say that, no, I will live my own life. Then, we have to move away to another house. So because when you are living in the society, when you are living in a family, some adjustments happen
Mm,
every day. But I'm talking about major decisions. People make
mm,
some major decisions based on the external world. They want their house to look in a certain way. They want to dress up in a certain way. They want to cook food in a certain way. So those are the things you have to start putting the boundaries for. Little boundaries, little boundaries. You have to start small. Like I
mm.
said, it took me a long time, to start. Once learned about this self-love, it took me a long time. Even now, I can't say no to certain things. I can't say no, and I end up going to places where I don't want to go, doing things I don't want to do. It will happen. It will happen. But still, boundaries are important because boundaries are what will keep your mind happy. You know, internally you're happy, and ultimately, whether it is spiritual, physical, mental, whatever it is, ultimately, what do we want? We want to be happy, right? It is the happy hormones we want in our body always.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?